Hi friends, Sam here with Happily Hooked. So today I'm going to show you guys how to wind a hank of yarn using a Swift. So we're going to have to go upstairs, so I have my big table and I can show you guys how to do that. But we're going to use a Swift today and I'll show you the easy, simple way on how to do that and make your life so much easier so you can use those pretty hanks of indie yarn that you love so much that you have hanging on the wall behind you that you haven't used yet. Not speaking from experience or anything like that. So I'm gonna run upstairs, grab all my stuff, I'll show you guys how to do it, and I'll be with you in just a second. Hi friends, real quick, if you guys wanna join the coolest crochet community on the internet and join over 20,000 members that love yarn just as much as you do, click the link in the description below and I cannot wait to see you in our community. All right, so like I said, we are going to take this hank of yarn and we are going to wind it into a yarn cake. So I've got a yarn winder here and I'll move the camera down a little bit so you can see it. I am in the kitchen right now, so there will be a little bit of an echo. If you guys remember some of my original videos, we were recording up here. I just don't have a big table down in my office downstairs to record with this, so this is where I wind my yarn. So I have my yarn winder here, I have my Swift behind me, and so I'm gonna show you guys how we take this and turn it into a yarn cake. So I'm gonna move the camera down here in just a second and I'll show you guys how I do that real quick. All right, so you can see my yarn winder is right here. My Swift is over here. So what we're gonna do, this is a Sorella yarn. It's her Hocus Pocus collection. This was in the color Full Moon. I know some of you are gonna ask, so I figured I would let you know. We're going to twist the hank like we did in the yarn winding video before, and we're going to shake it out and make sure it is good to go. And then we're going to carefully find the ties. I think she only does one on hers. So we're going to go up to this one, grab our scissors, and we're going to cut right underneath that knot. And then we will remove the extra tie, and that can be discarded. And then we have our two ends right here. So what we're gonna do is we're going to keep those ends in your fingers so they don't get lost. You're gonna take your hank and you're going to come and drape it over your Swift. And you want to make sure that all of the pieces are in the middle here. So you don't want any up and over or any underneath. And then I straighten mine out, and you can let it go now so your little working yarn will be here. And then I just, with this Swift, you just move the wooden piece up and you tighten it. And now it's on our Swift. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come over here and I kind of turn my yarn a little bit so I can see where it's coming from. And then we loop it through our yarn winder and onto the middle piece right here. And then I slowly turn it and you'll see it pops off. So you have to kind of be careful because some, like this is a DK weight yarn, so it's a little bit thinner. And I like to put my tail underneath a piece so it doesn't, and I hold on to the top of it. Some yarn winders and some yarns you don't have to do that. I do it just because I know that it's going to come off. And then I just twist my hank on my Swift to make sure that the right part of the yarn is coming out. And I start winding slowly. So like I said, I go slow at first just to make sure the yarn isn't pulling on the Swift. And I'll move over here. And you can just see that it does its own little thing and it goes nice and slow. And then you can start speeding it up. Once it starts doing, you'll see on here how it starts caking all by itself and it's doing what it's supposed to do, and you just kind of keep going and you watch this. So my Swift makes a little bit of noise, so you might hear that. It kind of hums. And I just keep going until I get close to the end. So I will wind up and I'll be with you in just a second. Alright, so as you can see, we've got just a couple strands left on here. So we're going to slow down a little bit and we're going to finish this off. So I like to make sure that it's not twisting, it's not pulling, it's not becoming knotted. And then I keep my hand up here for that last part. So that way, once the end happens, I can snag that tail before it falls off. So we've got about one left, and then I grab the tail and I finish off the cake. And so then for this, I will make sure that none of the pieces are stuck underneath. And I grab my center pull and I pull it out to start. My working tail, my end tail that I just finished, I tuck it under a couple strands of yarn. I don't tie a knot or anything like that. I just tuck it under so that way it doesn't fall apart. And then I slide it off of my yarn winder. And now we have a super cute, perfectly workable center pull cake of yarn. So this is my favorite way to have my indie dyed yarn, my hand dyed yarn, my cake yarn. I prefer it like this. I have seen some people when they wind their yarn, they hang on to it as they're going from the Swift to the yarn winder. I don't do that because I feel like it pulls the yarn a little bit too much and it makes it too tight. So then it's hard to work in. This will come right out super easy. So yeah, so this is how you turn a hank of yarn into a workable yarn cake. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. This yarn winder and this Swift are both from Stanwood. At first I'd done a review on this one and I didn't really like it. I actually love this one now. The only downfall, like I said, is for thinner yarn like this. It's a little bit tricky because it doesn't like to stay in the center until you've wound it a couple times. The Swift itself is fantastic. It's all wooden. It's got a couple metal wires in it, and then it's got these little twine ties. And these actually help when you slow down on your yarn winder. It'll slow these because it'll catch that yarn and it'll slow so it doesn't like knot around your yarn winder. And then you just untwist the metal and it closes right up. And then you untwist it from the base of your table and it comes right off. So it's really nice for storage. It stays nice and tight together. You don't have to have 57 pieces for it. But yeah, so this is my Swift, my yarn winder. I love them both. I'll have the links for those in the description below. And if you have any questions, just let me know and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.